This is Miss Monson from Shady Brook, and this video is about how to break apart addition and subtraction problems in order to solve them. In third grade, we spend time learning different ways to solve addition and subtraction problems. Sometimes this can be frustrating for parents. Some of these strategies are different than what used to be taught in school, and sometimes it's hard to see the value of teaching multiple strategies. As a math teacher, one of my goals is that students will be very comfortable with numbers. I want them to see patterns and use those patterns to add and subtract mentally, fluidly, and accurately. When kids are wrapped up in an operation, it can be easy to make mistakes because they don't usually think about whether or not the answer makes sense. Now, your child is not required to use breaking apart, but it is a strategy he will be introduced to and he might choose to use it. Let's look at how it works. Like using number lines, breaking apart is very flexible. There's not always a right or wrong way to do it. We'll get a couple of different ways to break apart 253 plus 374, but there are more ways. One of the ways that many kids are comfortable with is breaking each number into all of its places, ones, tens, and hundreds. Then you add all the places. So 200 plus 300 equals 500, 50 plus 70 equals 120, and 3 plus 4 equals 7. Then you put those pieces back together. 500 plus 120 is 620, plus 7 is 627. Another option would be to keep one number together while breaking apart the other. I usually keep the bigger number together when I do this. So 374 plus 200 is 574. 574 plus 50 is going to take me a minute, so I'll pull 30 out of the 50. 574 plus 30 equals 604, plus the remaining 20 equals 624, plus 3 is 627. When you use breaking apart to subtract, there is an important rule to remember. Order matters. If we're solving 326 minus 184, we can't solve 300 minus 100, 80 minus 20, and 6 minus 4 because the problem isn't 386 minus 124. Some kids want to write it this way. They know that you need to start with a bigger number, and sometimes they don't realize how they've changed the problem. As a quick aside, we don't really learn about negative numbers in third grade, but I start to introduce the idea. So instead of saying that we can't do 20 minus 80, I'll say that we'd get a negative number, and we don't do negative numbers in third grade. When subtracting, I encourage kids to not break apart the first number. This will help you keep the parts in the correct order. So 326 minus 100 is 226. 226 minus 80 is a little tricky, so I'll break the 80 apart in 20 and 60. I chose 20 because there's a 20 in the number I'm subtracting from. 226 minus 20 is 206. 206 minus 60 is 146. 146 minus 4 is 142. Of course, you don't always have to start by taking away the hundreds. Sometimes I'll start with the ones place. It just depends on the problem. Remember, breaking apart is just another flexible tool for solving addition and subtraction problems. Sometimes we'll use some breaking apart when we're using number lines, and you can review the video about adding and subtracting on number lines to see how important breaking apart is for that. This is Miss Monson, and this video is all about using breaking apart to add and subtract.